Hello, movie lovers. Well, it's been a while since I've seen you guys. I think we went live a few weeks ago around December 7th. Anyways, so I have a special guest with me tonight, guys. I am interviewing the screenwriter, writer, the king of entertainment, Mr. Pharaoh Harrington. Okay, and we're going to speak with him, guys. Let's get ready. Hello, Pharaoh. Welcome
Alo-
to Movie Lovers Unite, Rossie Talks.
Aloha. This is the king of entertainment.
Absolutely. Okay, Farrell, I'm going to let you tell the people something quick about yourself. Let them know who you are.
My name is Pharaoh Harrington. I am a screenwriter or writer in this case. I am 29 years old, and yeah, that's the quickest way I can go.
Okay, all right. All right, guys. Pharaoh is not only a writer, he does some acting. Don't you direct also, Pharaoh? I mean, you do a
Yes,
little bit of, he's the king of entertainment, guys. So he does
yes,
a
I do.
little bit of everything, okay?
Yes, I do.
So really quick, guys, I met Pharaoh on the set of Hidden in Plain Sight. I played Sarah. Pharaoh actually was there to help out with everything. He also, what you sit in, he sat in the car to be the driver at some point. And I was lucky to meet him through a friend named Eric Wells, who we will soon have on the show as well. Remember, Eric couldn't make it here a couple of weeks ago because they are actually filming. He was on set, and he also works with Pharaoh. He told me about Pharaoh that he was a screenwriter and he writes a lot of the stuff that the projects that they do, and they have really awesome projects, guys. And I'm gonna let Pharaoh tell you guys about that in a little bit. But anyways, I met him on set and was just his aura, just a good person, always so kind. And then when I found out he was a writer, I was like, okay, there we go. He's the guy that's responsible for the movie clips that Eric would share with me. So that's how we know each other, guys. And he is now friend of the channel, and we're going to convince him to come back and review some stuff because we are reviewing Let the Right One In. And this guy knows about the book, the movie, the first one, the second one. He knows a lot about it and the
Mhm.
actors. Okay, so this is a movie guy. So, Pharaoh, let's start off with something fun. Christmas the other day.
Mhm.
So, as a kid, what was the gift that you just had to have for Christmas? What was
Oh, man, I ain't gonna lie. I'm a huge Godzilla '98 fan. I love Godzilla '98. So like the biggest thing I wanted as a Christmas present was like the entire gear, like the backpack, the shirt. I did have the shirt and the backpack. I did also have this big blow up doll as a kid, and I used to like fight it all the time. But it died.
He killed it. He killed it.
Yes, yes.
I was a Barbie girl. So anything Barbie for me was like my thing. I love Tonka trucks. I loved RC cars. Love that type of stuff. What did you do for Christmas though? Did you have a good Christmas? Do you do a lot? Like,
I don't do much. I'm just a laid back, chill guy. I'm a Sigma male, so I basically
okay,
I like to sit back, just relax, hang out with a little bit of friends and stuff like that. I wish I could have went to Iowa with my family, but I wasn't able to this year, and I was happy to be here, stay here in California. So,
okay. So like, when did you decide you wanted to be a writer? Like, did you write as a kid? Tell us about that.
oh man, that is a good question. So that question is always answered with the best way of saying 6 year old me watching movies, playing with toys, being creative, and using my imagination. I used to have an imaginary friend as a kid. So when I got older, I pretty much was told, "Hey, get rid of your imaginary friend and stuff like that." And I was told that at around 7.
Oh
So
wow.
I was like, "Oh man," and I felt bad, but I had such a broad creativity that I said I wanted to keep the character. So I end up trying to create ideas for him, and when I started creating like all these other ideas, which were mimicking like other shows like Power Rangers,
Okay.
Megas XLR, I'm a huge nerd, cartoon nerd, and everything like that. I started just making his own idea, and then his own idea came in my head one day because I'm a huge fan of anime, and I just made an anime for him, and it's pretty good.
Oh, that's awesome. No, that's really awesome. Let's see. So you probably played video games.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yep. I stopped playing video games at 13, and I just watch other people play them because it's like,
Really?
yeah, I just couldn't stick to it. I just couldn't stick to sitting down hours a day just playing a video game
Mm-hmm.
and knowing I can write a story that basically
Right.
pretty much will be laid out for a video game. So I was like,
Right.
I can watch other people do it, but I'm like, I like watching other people do it, but me, I would play it once in a while. The only games I liked, or a game I like, is like Call of Duty or Call of Duty Ghosts, Advanced
Okay.
Warfare, the really good ones. So,
Okay. They're really good ones.
yeah.
Yeah, I love. We love games here on this channel. I'm a huge video game player. Like you said, don't have time to sit all the time, but when I do, I sit and play some games.
Oh
Okay,
yes.
absolutely, and I love shooters. Right now I'm playing freaking the Division 2 online.
Mhm.
I've never played online, playing that online and absolutely loving it. But as
Oh,
far as your writing though, so your first writing, you said you did that as an you had imaginary friend, which a lot of us do, and it's
mhm.
horrible when you kill that for a kid at 7 years old.
Yeah.
But you wrote about anime. Where did you go after that? I mean, did you continue to stick with the writing? I mean, well, obviously you did because you're still writing, but
Mhm.
when at some point did you know this is going to be a career thing? Like, I really want to do this.
So that question right there, that definitely came up about around when I was 18. And literally, I was just on the path of trying to be a filmmaker because as a kid, I said I wanted to be a filmmaker. So my first dream was to become an engineer, but I pretty much was horrible at math. So I just said, I'm going to stick to this. And it was a teacher who told me to be a writer too because my imagination was so broad. I just made up so much stuff.
Wow.
So after that is like around 18, I started really diving into the real aspect of what I really want to do in this field. And what I chose to do was basically become a writer. And when I said I wanted to be a writer, I remember all the ideas I was writing down as a kid through high school to now. And it's like, yeah, that decision was made as soon as I said, hey, I'm going to turn my imaginary friend into an anime. Let's go.
Okay. Okay. So like with your parents, I mean, did they have a dream for you? You know how some parents want you to go to school and be a doctor or a lawyer or something because they tend to look at, we as artists as dreamers, you know what I mean? Like get
Yeah,
your head out of that and go do something for real.
right.
And I know that it's a small percentage of us that make it because we're willing to, you know, let everything what everyone else says and let
Yeah.
that go and just go for it. So what did your parents think about that? I mean, when did they know you were like that, a writer?
Yeah, they knew I was very extremely creative. They were a little embarrassed about it because I was always in public doing things, but they they were supportive to an extent. There was always the belief in the plan B. What if this doesn't work and
Right,
everything like that? What is your opposite goal if this doesn't go the way you go through? And as an adult now, I'm just like, I made the right decision because
right,
there is no plan B. Once you make this decision, especially in this field, once you make a decision to do filmmaking or become a writer and stuff like that, there's really no turning back. So if you
right.
choose to turn back, that is your failure from that point on. And I
Okay,
said this right here was the reason why I am just said go. Just my mind was like go, just
right,
just go, and I just ran and took that leap, and that's yeah. So
right. Do you
yeah.
have siblings?
Yes, I do. I have three sisters and two brothers. The brothers are twins.
Wow.
Um, my sisters are one's actually I think 3 years younger than me. Another one's about the same age as my brothers, and the other one, the baby sister is about to be 13. So
Okay. Are
yeah.
they all creative?
Uh, my brothers are. My
Okay.
sisters, however, they're just wherever
Right,
they're. Yeah.
right, right. Let's see. Speaking of the directing or making films,
Mm.
with writing, when did you decide to parlay that into like not only am I gonna write, but I'm gonna, like direct or, you know,
Okay. Wow. The parlay of basically me wanting to write and turn and create movies was pretty much I'm a huge fan of films and just seeing this with my eyes and hearing it, just to see the people playing it. My inspirations were just as many other people's inspirations. Will Smith and Brendan Fraser are like my two favorite actors that I can watch movies on, and I have fun with it, and that's what made me really want to do more. So when I wanted to go down that path, it was like my writing. I wanted to see them come to life. So every time I would write something on paper, my imagination is like, "Hey, do you see this as a movie? I can write it down, picture it with some music, and the music makes sense for the idea and the character, and then I'm just like, yeah, I want to do this." So I guess when I finally came to the choice of, yeah, I am going to stick to writing, is when the directing and the acting started to come along.
Okay. With that, um, with your writing, what project was the project that kind of went professional? When you went just professional with
When I
that.
went professional,
Hmm.
uh, hmm, that's a good question. Well, there's a bunch of them there, because a lot of my ideas are like overly spread, big budget Hollywood stuff.
Okay.
So I had to learn to take a step back real quick and learn to write short films.
Okay.
And once I learned to write short films, which really is not that long ago, I technically wrote a short called Cellulife, and I was trying to literally pitch it for the Access place called Sacramento. They turned it down, but it was a great opportunity for me to just get it in there and everything like that. And
Right.
Cellular Life is a horror that basically is about a cell phone a guy finds a cell phone. So when the battery began to die, so does the lifespan. And
Oh, no way.
yeah, that was the trick of the idea. And it's been I've been trying to get that off the ground for a minute, but I filmed it once when I went to this film program, and I haven't heard from it since. And I can just say all I'm right now doing has been just shooting the other ideas, such as
Okay.
it. Uh,
Okay.
my next one coming up is called Hot Zone, and we just did Looters, and
Okay.
that's when the professionalism came into play.
Okay. I wonder if Looters was the one that Eric showed me because he showed me a short film and it was four guys. It was shot beautifully. Is that Looters? Is that the
Yeah,
one with the
that's Looters. Yeah, that's Looters.
okay? That he showed me that. That was the first thing I saw of yours, and Eric showed me that a short film, and I remember watching that and it being so short. The characters were there was one guy that was just hilarious. He was absolutely funny.
Yeah.
You guys gathered around the car and trying to decide where do we go from here, basically.
Hmm.
And also the way it was shot, it was professionally done. I told Eric, I want to know more about those characters. I want to know more about that guy. I want to know more about that guy. It was really good, and that's the first one I saw. So you did that. It's I loved it, and I would love to see a full version of Looters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you did a really good job. So what's your process? Like when you're writing, what process do you go through? Because I understand like some people do a board where they write ideas out, you know.
Mm.
What's your process that you go through if you have a process?
My process is pretty much letting my imagination roar.
Okay.
And I say that, and I'll take you through it, because with this process, there's so many different processes for different writers. So writers can write however they want to write, but with this, it's a for my process, I pretty much just say, okay, I have this idea. I'm gonna write it into bulletins on my notebook or in my phone notepad or my computer notepad, or Google Docs, and I'm just gonna let that marinate until it becomes a full blown, like until I see the movie, until I'm able to see it. And then once I fully am able to see it, I then go and just go like, okay, these characters, who is these characters? I just write out the character I want. What type of character is he or her? And just just play with it from there. And then I got the premise, and then I start writing the story, and then I write out the outline, and then after that I just write like a spec script, which is like a 5-page short, to see if the idea is going to work, and we use it to shoot like as a skit, and then that's my
Okay.
my process there.
Okay. Are you one of those guys, like, how some comedians, they'll wake up out of their sleep and they're like, oh my gosh, that's a good joke. I'm gonna write that. Does that happen to you?
Yeah, I have actually had that just recently. I was just working on another it's actually a kid's book, a kid's movie idea I have, and it just be like, oh, I woke up like, oh, okay, I gotta write this down. And I just be like, okay, where's my phone, like, or notebook, and just go like, okay, here we go. Just write down 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Speaking of that, the what are you in many genres? Like, what you mentioned horror films, but what other genres do you write?
I, honestly, I write popcorn movies. I
Okay.
love popcorn films.
Tell us what popcorn is. I've never heard of that, so please
So
tell us what that is.
of course. So what a lot of people don't know about popcorn films, or what a popcorn film is, it's basically purely entertainment. It's just a movie that's just fun. It's humorous. It has no real plot, or actually it has a plot, but it's just like it's not taken too serious. And I love those type of films. I can give you like a list of
Please give us some so we have an idea.
yeah, if you watch Godzilla 1998, Godzilla 1998 had a great storyline, but it was a popcorn movie because it was just pure fun. You had fun with just seeing just the monster just destroying the city, the army trying to stop him, everything like that. The humorous like jokes coming from the adults and people like that. This is considered a a popcorn culture film, Black Panther, and
Okay. Right.
that was that I love that film. I love that film, and it's like second to Godzilla. There's
Okay.
Bullet Train, Black Adam, White House Down, the first Thor movie. I have a lot of GI Joe: The Rise of Cobra. I mean, there's
Okay.
Transformers. There's
Okay.
so much. There's so many. Uh,
Okay. I get that, because I know with Transformers, it took me a while to watch that because I didn't think I'd like it. End up watching it, and it's exactly how you describe it. It's a movie that's just go, go, go. It's a lot of fun.
mhm,
Haven't seen Bullet Train, heard a lot about that. Heard it was
great
a
movie.
a, a great over the top kind of adventure
Mhm.
shooter, just a really good. So okay, I get that. We
There's another one
understand that.
too. There's another popcorn movie I've just also recently seen. It's called Violent Night. It's a Christmas movie. It has David
Yes.
Harbour in it. That is
Yes.
a great popcorn movie, and the
Okay.
elements in that was like, oh yes, it was like Die Hard meets Home Alone. I was like, that's beautiful. That is very beautiful.
Well, okay, then I then would, and don't laugh at me, guys, but I am a Sharknado fan. Okay. Okay, even though I know, okay, everyone laughs at me, but
Hey,
I've seen them. I've seen, I think, all four of them or five of them, and I just like the silliness of it. You know what I mean? The B-rated stars. Would that be a popcorn movie?
that would actually be a B-rated popcorn movie. That
Okay.
would.
Okay.
I mean, there's a bunch of B-rated popcorn movies like Piranha. If you've seen
Oh,
Piranha,
yes,
yeah,
I love that.
yeah, that's a popcorn movie, and
Okay.
it's like Slither is another one. It's supposed to be a horror comedy, but I was like, no, that's a popcorn movie to
Okay.
an extent. Yep.
Okay. So you said your all-time favorite movie is the Godzilla movie,
Yes, the
but
98.
the 98. What
Mhm.
other movies did you really like growing up? And one more thing, I want you to tell them the story of why you enjoy the black and white movies and the reasons why you got into that.
Oh, of course. So other films I loved as a kid was literally like Mr. Belvedere. I loved
Yes.
Casablanca. I loved Gone with the Wind. It's
Yes.
crazy how I can say I like that movie. Citizen Kane. I actually
Yes.
got into Citizen Kane when I came out here in 2017, and I was like, oh yeah, this is yeah, okay, I like this. And yeah, and those are all black and white movies. But
Right.
what was the funny thing about it was oh, I forgot to say this other movie, the first and original Django.
Okay.
Nobody knew.
Didn't know it.
Yeah, so there's literally a movie called Django that Quentin Tarantino, if anybody knows him, he's you know his movies, Pulp Fiction,
Absolutely,
Django
absolutely.
Unchained, and
Yes,
everything like that. Yeah,
yes.
Django Unchained is pretty much a direct descendant to the
Hmm.
first Django film, and it actually involved an Italian actor named Franco Nero. And he pretty much, the movie was basically about a wanderer who was a gunslinger, and he was carrying around a coffin, and he goes to this town and becomes his protector from the Ku Klux Klan. And I was like, this is a Western. And I'm like, Jesus Lord, this is a great movie. But what got, yeah, I just loved the setting of it. Just the story behind it was just so passionate. And I was sucked right into the movie. Like, wow, wow. But the story behind me liking black and white films and films in general, well, getting into those type of films too, because as a kid, I used to get in trouble just for just random things, and it would be just like if I sneeze the wrong way, I would it'll be like, nope, you're not watching TV, nothing you like, anything like you to sit right here and watch what we watch, and I'd be bored. So one time I got in trouble with my grandmother, and she loves Turner Classic Movies. I would turn on that
Oh,
channel
yes.
now, like a passion, and watch so many black and white films to where I'm like, I can't wait till Casablanca comes on and be like, yes, like great movie. Yeah, so my Grady would like turn on her shows and stuff like that, like Hallmark channels, everything.
Yep,
And
yep.
but when she turned to Turner Classic Movies, I would sit there, and it'll be like to me when I'm in trouble and I don't go to bed until like 8:30 as a kid. I literally would sit there like watching these movies with her, and I would be immersed in these movies while she's falling asleep in her chair, like
Okay.
just knocked out. And another movie would come on, and then I'd be immersed into that, and it
Wow.
just was like, it just became a love for me, and I just was like,
Right.
man, I love film. I love film.
Right. Yeah, the best. Same with me. I love the black and whites, the Turner classics.
Mhm.
To sit all night and just watch those movies. I think I watched A Tree Grows in Brooklyn so many times, so many times. They were just really good. And don't you love old Hollywood? Just that old classic Hollywood.
You know, I miss old Hollywood. I do. But what I feel like is that, and I do love old Hollywood. I
Right.
just the only thing I can say that I think I'm glad we're progressing in is just the
Yes.
technology,
Absolutely.
and that's pretty much it. But old
Right.
Hollywood was like, yeah, everybody had a
Yeah.
job.
Right, like they were celebrities, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, today's age, we have so much technology to where
Hmm.
you can a celebrity's not it's not like it used to be. You know what I mean?
Yep.
When we were kids and when you see Michael Jackson or you see a certain movie, Bruce Willis,
Oh,
if you
yeah.
saw him in person, you'd flip out. Today, it's
Right.
just you can touch anyone, you can see anyone,
Hmm.
everything they're doing because of social media. Back then, we had to use our imagination and wonder what they're doing because they were held just that, we idolize some of them,
Yeah. So many
So,
meetings, so many
yeah, right?
yeah, just so much stuff. They were like, I just seen a movie called Babylon, and
Okay,
it has Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie in it.
right.
Great film. It's a real wild, great film
Okay,
though. But I
okay.
could tell you one thing, that shows how much Hollywood has changed, but it shows you so much about the industry you would
What's
never
it
think is
about?
possible.
Tell us a
So
little bit about what I've heard about it, heard it's great, but what is it about?
So you're following the a couple of eccentric characters. Margot Robbie and Brad Pitt are not the main characters of the film.
Okay,
It's
okay,
this Latino, and I forgot what his name, but the main character's name is Manny. But each one of them are going through Hollywood during the time period where Hollywood was transitioning from silent films to talkies, and this was such a moment of like, how do you get into it basically kind of told how you get into the industry, where
okay.
if you basically go in, you can basically get in through just going to a party or lying to go into the party. Like the whole thing about fake it till you make it, it's been
Right, right.
told through so many books like Tony Robbins and I keep forgetting his name. He did a book I love. It's called Rich Dad Poor Dad. But yeah, Robert Kiyosaki, that's his name. Robert
Okay,
Kiyosaki's
okay.
book and everything like that. When you fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it is pretty much was that whole line, like, because Margot Robbie's
Okay.
character, just a little spoiler, she faked it all the way till she got famous, and I was like,
Wow.
wow,
Okay.
okay, this that yeah, yes, that works.
Speaking of books, you know, although you're in movies, I mean, if you're a writer, you read a lot. Who are
Mhm.
your favorite authors that the books that you like? Your favorite writers?
You know,
Sorry, guys.
I don't have really many favorite writers. J.K. Rowling is one good one, I would say. I'm more onto the screenwriting writers than
Okay.
anything. Like Jordan
Okay.
Peele is my
Okay.
favorite.
Right.
Um, Christopher Nolan is definitely my all time favorite.
Okay.
Not just because of the Batman films,
Right.
but with Inception and Tenet,
Right. Right.
Interstellar was actually really good. I just I'm just a writer who just loves the concepts of writing. But if I want to say any authors I like, would be like that has influenced me
Right. Yeah.
more towards my dream, I would say like Robert Kiyosaki, Tony
Okay.
Robbins, um, George R.F. Chabon.
Okay.
It's a lot of people I can really go.
Okay. 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 Let's see. I had some other questions. I had some fun questions here. Okay.
Take your time.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to miss anything, guys. You guys know I love to write notes and read notes and all that. Um, we talked about that. You know what I wanted to talk about was you mentioned you as a kid and
Yep.
how you were different. And being that we're reviewing and in the middle of reviewing, let the right let the right one in. You know the little boy Isaiah.
Yes.
That's when you talking and telling me about you as a kid,
Mm,
it reminds me of little Isaiah because remember, Isaiah's different.
yeah.
He's not like the other kids. He's very talented. He wants to be a magician
Hmm.
and he gets picked on because of that. Did that happen to you as a kid when other kids, you start writing as a young kid? So,
Yeah, it did. I used to be the kid. I wasn't the class clown. I was just the kid that was weird. And
okay,
growing up, it was different because it was just I felt like I had no friends. I wasn't connected to people. But the only reason why, and the truth be told, because a lot of people don't know this about me, is that I have level 1 autism, which is
okay,
Asperger's syndrome. And nobody could tell that about me. So it's like when I tell people that, they're just like, oh, you're autistic. And it's like, well, yeah, but you can't tell it. But when it was be comments from certain people, even certain
okay.
adults and other stuff like that that used to get on my nerves when I hear it from certain people too. No, literally, like they would tell my parents or a guardian or somebody that when you have a conversation with me, you could tell there's something wrong with me,
Wow.
it hurts my feelings because yeah, and that doesn't make me soft, but it's like at
Right.
the
No, but still.
yeah, yeah, it's just that right there is like I'm a human being just like you, so that right there kills me on the inside. And I've dealt with so much stuff growing up. I'm still dealing with it, extreme depression,
Okay.
anxieties. This is like it's a real thing that nobody takes serious, but yeah, I dealt with bullying. I still dealt with it as an adult and everything like that.
Wow.
I still deal with people just not understanding my way of me viewing the world. But
Right.
it's like so much stuff I went through and the stuff that I watched and all this other stuff made my view towards the world like completely different because I believe that anything is possible. So
Absolutely.
that's my whole concept. And how do I say anything is possible? I am sitting in a room, especially when I'm writing and stuff like that. I sit in a room, and if I'm thinking, the one thing that pops in my mind, and it's funny to me, I'd be like, if Godzilla was real, how are we surviving that? Yes, there is. That's what I be saying. It's like, how are we going to survive that? So, yeah,
Right. I honestly, like you said, I couldn't tell either.
yeah,
You're not looking for anything, but you telling me that, not even a clue. Did not know.
mhm,
I myself, I'm an epileptic, and I dealt with that growing up as a kid. I was diagnosed at 5 years old, so I was always very different.
mhm,
I would, have seizures at school, and kids would like freak out because what's going on with her. So I had a lot of that, a lot of bullying because of that. So I did what you did, basically had an imagination and and would go and react scenes from movies that I liked because I wanted
Yep.
to be, and do that
Yep.
to escape. I didn't have a lot of friends,
Mm,
so I was, my own best friend or my sister,
yeah.
because she too suffers from, epilepsy. So I
Yeah.
totally get where you're coming from, and people find it strange even as you get older, and adults who you think have, the sense of mind to know better will
Mm,
say things to make it seem like something's wrong with you, or they speak to you a certain way as if you, because of this, problem I have,
yeah.
that I you have to speak to me a certain way, speak to me louder, or I totally get that. Can
Yeah.
you explain a little bit to the audience what that is that you suffered from, your autism, to explain
Yes.
what it is so that
Of course. So, as a lot of people may not understand, with Asperger's is an autism level where I personally suffer from hyper focus. It's hyper focus on a subject or anything. And I will be talking about it for days, hours, years, and it doesn't matter. It does not bore me or anything like that. And been around filmmakers, a lot of people will say, well, because I love film, I could talk about films. I talk about specific films over and over again. I talk about my ideas over and over again. But it's mainly because it's like that's what I'm focused on. That is what
Right,
I'm so focused on. I don't care about going out to parties. If I'm invited, that's cool. I don't
right,
care about doing most things, because it's just like this is my main focus. This is
right,
what I want to do with my life. This is what I'm pretty much putting
right,
my blood, sweat, tears, anger, whatever else
right.
into it,
No, right,
and I'm pushing forward. And that's one thing I'm dealing with. That's with me is, and it's with anybody that has Asperger's, that they're going to be hyper focused on
right,
one thing, and that's what they're going to be focused on talking about every
right,
single day, and dealing deep into it
right.
from the core of their souls to everything, just like that.
Right. I think that that's what makes you great. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Because you have that, and some may look at it as a disability, but look where you are. That's what
yeah.
makes you great, because you are so hyper focused on it that you've done how many projects? You've written, like, how many projects have you worked on up until this point right now?
Man, I have worked on a lot of projects. I can say I've been helping out. I have clients too I work with.
Okay.
I have a client that I'm working on her script, and that was just being seen by some producers.
Wow.
I've been helping out some brothers of mine, my own twin brothers who have ideas. They want to do anime and stuff like that, and
Okay.
and movies. And I say, yeah, I can help you with this. And they've been a very supportive team too. My friends, that my group, we've been, whew, man, it's a lot. I can't really give you a bare number.
Okay. Well, how about this? How about you tell the folks what project you're working on right now, and after that, if you could tell them about your brothers, the guys who I saw in the film, what you guys do. Tell the people about that.
Oh, of course. So the project right now we're on a little bit of a vacation because it's the holidays.
Right.
But we just got done wrapping a project called Hot Zone, and that's basically about, within a car garage, a bodyguard must fight a a spy and two bounty hunters over a bag within the night that he has to deliver, and that's a project we just got done with. Um, and my next project that I'm working on, which is basically next year, I'm going to be working with some collective people from the Bay Area to out here in Sacramento, and just on different projects and everything like that. I just got called upon to be on a set in the Bay Area for
Wow.
next month. So I'm pretty much about to hit the pavement hard again
Right. Right.
next year.
So with the short films that you do, tell them how long, like, you're in and out, but it
Mm.
makes sense because I saw the film that you did. It's in and out. What is it, like 10 minutes? And it's
Yeah, up 7 to 10 minutes, but it's just about 5 pages, maybe
okay.
sometimes 10, but that's the length of it. So with that, it's just basically they're just spec ideas,
Okay.
and as cinematic skits, they're funny, but
Okay.
they're to be like spec ideas to say, hey, because this is our way of introducing to the world, to the industry and the world, like, hey, this is who we are, this is what we do, this is the ideas we're putting out there, and everybody, this is what we're standing for. So
Okay.
I would say with that, I would say that with that, it's a lot of work.
Okay.
It just comes with a little bit of time. It just comes with
Okay.
time and patience, you know.
So how long did it take to do just one project? How long does it take? What's your process, to go through that with the guys? Like, how do you guys choose who's gonna play this part? Like, how do you do that?
So with the projects, like I'll give you an example with Looters. Looters
Okay.
was like our first, like, once 2021 came, we said the first idea we're going to throw out in the world was Looters, and we hit the world with that. And the process was just basically coming up about, like, hey, let's get an idea for the one location, what it's going to be about, and everything like that. My process was just basically simple, just coming up with the idea, and the idea was already written. It
Okay.
just was like, do I want to take a chance on giving it a shot to see if it worked? And I did, as a writer, you battle yourself. You have a lot of battling yourself, and writers do that. If any writer in this world says that they don't do that, they're lying to themselves, because there is moments where writers go through that. But I
Okay.
digress. Um, yeah, with that process, I just basically just said, okay, I'm going to write it, and then it goes through my brother, my god brother, I call him. He's a producer too. He does editing. His name is Reggie Waters. He goes and reads it. He does the rewriting with it too. I also have Eric Qualls read it,
Right.
and they just basically tell me what needs to be changed. And I'm good with changes, because the industry is going to tell you to rewrite this, or they're going to rewrite it. And I'm always the guy that says, either I do it or somebody else is going to do it. And mostly, if I don't do it, they're going to do it. If I let them do it, I got to trust them to do the process.
Right.
So that is mainly my process, is just like having trust, patience, and without a doubt, just taking the leap.
Okay.
And yeah.
So, like, with the with Looters, will that be a feature film? Like, do you want to do feature films? Like, what's your goal? What's your guys' goal?
Well, I know for us, we want to be in Hollywood. We want to make the big time movies. We want to make the movies that basically you go to the theaters and pay your money to see. That is my goal, my dream. Ever since I was a kid, was always to see my ideas come to life, and seeing it from this point of view, it says that, yeah, I can make it. So my
Absolutely.
bigger dream is to see my bigger ideas become like the best thing of my life, that I put my hard on time into, even if it may not look like I did. It's like, no, I'm behind closed doors writing, and that's what I want to put in there. Looters, for Looters, I definitely see a 4 film franchise. I see a bigger, I see bigger things going on with
Uh,
this. I'm pretty much trying to make Looters the next Ocean's 11 franchise,
Okay. Okay.
and that's what I want to do with that.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely see that. Absolutely see that. When I watched it, yeah, you get that. Like I said, the characters are great. The guy that you got every type of character, but that one guy that's funny, he had me dying in it. And like I said, guys, these movies that they're shooting, these are the quality, the cameras that they're using, the writing, the acting, like where they decide to shoot at, the atmosphere,
Mm-hmm.
all of this, guys, in a 7 to 8 minute film.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years? That's a short time, but 5 years, a lot can happen.
Whew, in 5 years, I see myself writing Hot Wheels, the feature film. I
Oh,
see
wow.
myself at a Kids Choice Awards, at a Screenwriters Guild Award. I see myself pretty much there with everybody, working with
Absolutely.
the big leads and everybody, and working with up and comers too,
Right.
because everybody's getting old. So it's
Right.
like, when the newcomers come in, hey, can you do this?
Right. Right.
Yeah. So.
Absolutely. Let's see. What else do we have? Let's add some fun questions. You know what? Someone wanted me to ask you just a second.
Mm-hmm.
Just a second. Just a second. What did I just do? Remember, I told you things happen when you're live?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yep. Okay. There we go. My computer's super sensitive. Um, so some people wanted me to ask you, if you're a spiritual animal, what animal would you be?
Oh, uh, well, I actually have three spiritual animals because I'm also
Okay.
part Native American.
Oh
Um,
wow. Okay.
but the but I know two of them. Nah, yeah, two of them are very, very close. I feel like I can be. These are my three: a tiger, a lion, and a wolf.
Okay.
And the tiger is the one that's basically like ready for anything. Like, okay, yeah, let's go. but the wolf represents it's three things that a wolf represents. It can represent the loner, it can represent the alpha, and it can represent the omega. As
Okay.
a which technically it rides alone, but it can build its own pack and everything like that. So that's my other one. And the lion, well, it says in my name, the king.
Right. The
Yep.
king. Absolutely.
Yep.
Um, okay. So I'm going to go back really quick. Um, Native American. Native American. Tell me your what tribe are you? What like yeah. And
I
where did
am
you grow up?
Well, I am Red Cherokee and Blackfoot. Red Cherokee on my dad's side. My great grandmother. I have a whole picture from my link from my family. It's like yeah, yeah. And Blackfoot is on my mom. I grew up in Iowa. This is the land of corn, and I call it the land of corn because it's nothing but corn stalks out there. I used to literally like for a job like pick corn just to make money and stuff like that. And
Wow. Wow.
yeah, so for a lot of people who don't know, Iowa is the state in the middle next to Illinois and Wyoming and all the other states. So
Okay.
that's where I grew up at. That's also known Tornado Alley.
Yes.
City I grew up in is Waterloo. It's a small little small place, and the capital of Iowa is Des Moines. Um, I've been there all my life since I was young till I'm 18, and at 18 I just left and just took the leap of faith. Um, there's a lot of stuff not to do there. That's all I can
Okay.
say.
Okay.
Yeah, but it is a good place that if you're having families, that you can go and pretty much just raise your family.
Yes.
But do understand that's all you're gonna do. Yeah,
That's all you're gonna
yeah, yeah, yeah.
do. So did you leave Iowa and come to SAC, or like is that how that went?
Well, my journey started with me going to Massachusetts because I come from a disbanded household.
Okay.
My mom and dad were divorced,
Right.
so and it was pretty much I was trying to get to know my dad and try to get a bond with him and stuff like that. Didn't go the way I wanted to, so I just kind of left that alone and
Right.
kind of then after Massachusetts, I came to California and my life kind of changed from there. And yeah,
Right. Are you happy?
oh man, I'm extremely happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, I'm gonna let Pharaoh now tell you where you can reach him at, his social media. If any of you guys want to work with him, because he does assist other writers, other screenwriters. So
Mhm.
this is a guy that you want.
Mhm.
He's located here in Sacramento, right? You're here
Yes,
in
I am.
Sacramento.
Yep.
Tell him where we can find you at, Pharaoh.
Well, yes, most definitely. So, first and foremost, to give you guys a good understanding of who I am and what I do, my name is Pharaoh TKE. I am a screenwriter and a screenwriting consultant. I can help you guys write your scripts. I can basically show you guys the way to write the format, the script, to basically what Hollywood is looking for, any producer, anything like that, and what will sell and everything like that. My client I'm working with now, we're dealing with a lot of things, but we are got stuff that is selling. And where you can find me at, you can find me at my email, which is official pharaohcorp@gmail.com. You can find me on my Instagram, official real Pharaoh underscore TKE. You can find me at Pharaoh Harrington at Facebook. You can find me also on YouTube on Pharaoh TKE and find all my next upcoming shorts and everything like that. You will probably be seeing me in a lot of like short films or films coming from the Bay Area and out here and everything like that. But anything from that point on, is pretty much hey.
Well, Pharaoh, we are so happy that you came, and you're my first interview, and I really appreciate you. Like, you've been so great. You've been open with your time. I appreciate you coming and sitting with us tonight. And
You.
I definitely would love for you to come back. Like we said, when you have free time, because I know you're going to be really busy, but when you
Mhm.
have free time, please hit me up. Let me know a day that works for you so we can do a movie, maybe an old film, whatever you want to do. That would be
Of course.
great. So thank you so much. Guys, listen, this is what's going on. Wait, before I do that, Pharaoh, are there any projects that you like to talk about, or are there any people that you want to shout out?
I would like to give a shout out to all my filmmakers out there, all my god brothers from Quentin Harris, Eric Qualls, Reggie Waters, my god sister Shonda Daniels, uh, Eric McCall Johnson. I also want to give a shout out to my brothers and my mom, my dad, all my family, my sisters, and just let everybody know I love y'all. I have a big heart. You have just been entertained by the king of entertainment.
You absolutely have. Pharaoh, the king of entertainment. He will be back, guys. Thank you for being a friend to our channel. Guys, I want to let you guys know, please like and subscribe. I also have a YouTube channel that I just started, guys. You know how Facebook is. I got to wait 48 hours. So I'll put that link up. John will hook that up for you guys.
Mhm.
Tomorrow, we're going to do another show because I am back from my Christmas, from the holidays, from working. Everything's gone back to normal for me. So I'm trying to get in and get some shows done. I owe you guys a lot of shows. So I have some special guests that are coming up in January. We are going to continue. Let the right one in, guys. We're going to finish that up. Tomorrow, I have Jay Jones, who is an actor. He's going to come on. He's going to sit with me, and we're going to review episodes 4 and 5 because remember, we're going to double up. Okay, there's so much going on. Hopefully, we can have Mr. King come back and review an episode with us before we get done with this. And then for January, I have another actor coming on the 12th. On the 11th, though, I have a very special guest. My little sister, Joanne McCree, Missy Joe Stargazer, all of that. She's going to come sit with me because once a month, we're going to talk about, oh gosh, it's John, oh, freaking it. The gentleman that made all those teen movies in the 80s, your Pretty in Pinks, gave
Ooh,
us the what is that? Just one of the guys. I think he gave us that. But your Brat Pat movies. Joanna's going to join me once a month because as kids we used to love those movies. So she's going to join me on the 11th, and we're going to rewatch and do a review of just one of the guys. All right. Thank you so much, movie lovers. We love you. Don't forget about my co-host. Go check out Charlie Widman. Check out Alex Haynes for A-Town Reviews. And of course, the head of our channel, Mr. John D. Gregorio. Thank you,
yeah.
John. Thank you, Pharaoh.
Thank
Guys,
you.
we are out. We will see you next time. And give me a minute, guys. You know how it goes.